So here we are in the grand final. It is me against the team 2-pack, which translates to this guy, Taiit, I think is how you pronounce it. So let's get right into it. This is the grand final of the Managrind 23 North American tournament. So hopefully we can bring it home. And even if not, I'm really quite proud of my deck as it stands. I think that it's come a long way. Okay, so we're up against a warrior, and I have a hard time believing that it's anything other than a control warrior if it's gotten this far in the tournament. So we're not going to have Leroy or this, we're going to not have this, and we'll just start with the backstab and see where that gets us. Now this is back to the simple standard Nightblade deck. That is to say, I've taken the Assassinate out, and I put the big Game Hunter back in, which I think is the right choice against a warrior. So we have the double dagger, or turn 1 dagger and Bloodsail Raider Dream here. So we're going to use it. Now this is less effective against a warrior generally, because he can put out a Fiery War Axe and deal with that. Okay, he will not. So, we'll just be nice and standard here. Put out our 3-3 and go from there. Okay, we do indeed have a Fiery War Axe. Okay, so nothing great to play here, except that I will play Bloodmage Thalnos. And the reason I'm going to play Bloodmage Thalnos is so that he basically wastes his axe here, and gives me a card. I think the only other choice that I have is Dagger and maybe Deadly Poison, but I think we're going to save that for later. Okay, we're going to armor up and do it that way. Okay, Persian's Blade, which we can happily combo. Perfect. I'm okay with that. I'm glad for him to use it on me instead of a minion. Now, he may well end up putting out the Arcanite Reaper next turn, because he will have the mana. I think this turn is a Sengen and a backstab. Okay, Wild Pyromancer. And an Acolyte of Pain. So, presumably, he has a spell like Whirlwind or something, or even if he doesn't, he'll get lots of card draw out of that. So, we could put out the Assassin's Blade and hit the Acolyte, and then take out the Wild Pyromancer with the Sengen. We could also sap the Wild Pyromancer and take out the Acolyte with the Sengen, and put on the Perdition's Blade. I think we are actually going to sap it, of all things, and get out the Perdition's Blade. I think that's the stronger choice. I'm going to leave the blade here, because I will Deadly Poison that. Okay, so we're going to Whirlwind. Which I can only imagine is a pretty weak use of Whirlwind for him. And get out the other Fiery War Axe. Sure. He took a long time to make that decision, which leads me to believe he was quite reluctant to make it. Now I am in the unfortunate state of not having a single minion to play and no real means of getting one out. The not wasteful thing to do here would be Assassin's Blade Deadly Poison, but by the same token, it's a little bit scary, because I don't want to just give away my Perdition's Blade like this. I think what I will do is get the Assassin's Blade out, but I'm not going to Deadly Poison it. Reason being, if he does have an Ooze, which I think is unlikely, to be honest, I won't lose it for free. And I can use it to start a combo next turn, like an Eviscerate, for instance, if I need to.
Armor made to fit.
Okay, Armor Smith with the Wild Pyro, the same sort of deal as with the Acolyte, so he has a lot of synergy here. So, this could fairly easily be a Drake, followed by Deadly Poison into the Armor Smith. I think that that's probably actually the best choice. Bloodsail Raider's pretty good too, but I think that this is better. Don't want him to have any Armor Smith whatsoever. Now, he will use the Wild Pyro to take out my Drake, I think. Unless I Shadow Step it back, which, I mean, it's not a terrible idea. It means that next turn I would play the Bloodsail. I'd play the Bloodsail, and then a 3-mana Drake, which would leave me with 3 mana for an Eviscerate. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I feel bad about that, but it's an extra card, and it saves the Drake from what will be absolutely death this turn. Yeah, okay, you know what? We're going to try this. This is a best of 5 series, unlike the others that have been best of 3, so I have a little bit more room for being more daring in the beginning. What I've also done by taking the Drake off the table is I've made it increasingly difficult for him to play any spells this turn, because it would be wasting his Pyromancer. Okay, Ragnaros. The unfortunate piece to this is that I don't actually have a means of getting rid of this. I can fairly easily draw into one. Leroy is technically a way of getting rid of this. Blade Flurry would also be just great if I had it. Perfect. So we will... Okay, so how are we going to do this? I think we're going to... I wish I could play the Bloodsail Raider, but I unfortunately can't. So we're going to Eviscerate Ragnaros, and then we're going to hit him in the face with the dagger, and then we're going to Blade Flurry. Yep.
Here we go.
So it turns out that Shadow Stepping the Drake there saved me, potentially. I may still very well lose this. 12 health is not a comfortable place to be against a warrior. But by the same token, if he doesn't kill me and he doesn't have a taunt, then I win, because I have the Leroy combo and 4 on the board.
I bring life.
Alexstrasza. What? Okay, that was just a straight-up misplay that he just did.
Well played.
He didn't want to give me 3 health, so he took himself down, which will cause him to lose. That said, if he was going to play Alexstrasza, there was no better way to do it. That's pretty unfortunate, though. I actually could have just done that with the Eviscerated. Didn't even need the Shadow Step. Wow, okay, well, our first game of the finals is in our favor. We've won. So 2 more to go, and we are the tournament champions. So let's try that again.
Valir versus Garrosh.
Alright, so round 2.
Watch.
He has changed out nothing, and neither have I. And that's not a bad start. Theoretically, starting with a 1-2-3 is good, but of course, Deadly Poison here is not really a 1. Okay, so this will just be a pass. Okay, so we are going to daggers here.
Here we go.
And of course, next turn will be Bloodsail. Okay, just gonna armor up. This can be Bloodsail, and I think that's the strongest, even though it's mana inefficient. The other thing is, we could make it much stronger by Deadly Poisoning here, but that's sort of annoying. I could save it for an early Blade Flurry, I suppose. I know he doesn't have oozes, so maybe we will do this. I will not use it to hit him right now, though. If he doesn't have a Fiery War Axe, this will be quite an early game advantage. Okay, he's just going to armor up again, and... Shield Slam, sure. That's certainly one way of getting around that. Okay, we don't have a compelling play here, so we are going to, I suppose... I think actually we're going to put out the SI7 agent.
Here
Reason
we
being
go.
is that even though it's not with the combo, it's still better to have a 3-3 on the board than not, especially when the board is clean. And he is a 3-3 for 3 when he doesn't combo, which is still great value, so nothing wrong with that. Okay, Fiery War Axe will take this out. This turn will be the Azure Drake, I think. Now this time he's actually sitting back a lot harder and being much more controlling. I mean, he was being fairly controlling before. He is a control warrior, but this seems slower from him. Wow. Okay. Shield block. He's playing very, very slow. Very late game. Okay, whirlwinding to get him down into Fiery War Axe range. Yep. Of course, I have another Drake, which I will certainly use here. Yep, there's no better play. That's the one. Great. Now I have all the components for any sort of board clear I need. I have Assassin's Blade, Deadly Poisoned, and he just said there that he never played my deck before, which makes sense because this is fairly new. This is just something that I've, of course, made. Core Howl, it's not a bad answer. Now I have nothing to do about that. I can't deal with that. What I can do though is put out the Assassin's Blade with Deadly Poison, and I know he doesn't have oozes, so I know that this is safe.
Here we go.
This will do 20 damage over 4 turns, and I have Blade Flurry, so I can take out big threats, and this is a big turn for him. He can put out a Legendary. He has... the next turn will be bigger, though. And Big Game Hunter will be very, very good here, as well as the Blade Flurry. Okay. Two Blade Flurries. We're certainly not... Well, I say that. I don't want to use Blade Flurry on this. I think I have to hit this engine. Yeah. And the worst part about that is that I actually can't do anything else.
Here we go.
I don't have... I mean, I could play the Abusive Sergeant, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of reason for me to do that, especially with the synergy it gives to Big Game Hunter. I can't use my Blade Flurries, there's no reason. So, I actually can't use any mana that turn. That's quite the thing. And this will almost assuredly be something Big Game Hunterable.
Armor.
No? Okay, Armor Smith. Okay, this is going to be a Blade Flurry turn. Yep, so I'll hit him and Blade Flurry, do 10 damage to the hero, and clear his board. Yep, I think that's the obvious play here.
Here we go.
And then just for kicks, we can actually slide into the Perdition's Blade as well. Leroy is not going to work just yet. If, however, we get a Shadow Step, we're in a very, very good place. He's actually just going to hit me with Cornell. Wow. He's getting out of Fiery War Axe. Does he not have anything else?
Back to work.
Okay, Cruel Taskmaster. So that's a backstab. Yeah, this is such a strange game because I essentially have, with my current hand the way it is, I have nothing to do.
Here we go.
All of this is counter and win conditions, and so I need my Shadow Step, or I need some creature, and I have not acquired a creature that is easy to play. He will put down a Legendary, and I'll be able to deal with it, but it's just such a strange thing. I've spent 0 mana on 2 turns, and I feel very uncomfortable with this. But it's hard to say that I'm not in the lead at the moment. This is a very, very slow and a very strange game.
Let the pain speak
Okay,
to
Acolyte
me.
of Pain. And get the cards, yeah. Happily enough, this sort of thing is making Alexstrasza all the less valuable, again.
Tazdingo! Yes!
I don't really see a need to keep the Perdition's Blade. I'm out of my Assassin's Blade, so I only have 1 more Perdition's Blade. I could do Blade Flurry here to get the extra couple of damage on him. And I don't really see a problem with that. There are very few instances in which Blade Flurry is going to help me anymore. So I'm actually going to do this, even though it seems wasteful.
Here we go.
At this point, we're fishing for Shadow Step.
Tazdingo!
Okay, he's going to counter his own. If I have Shadow Step, of course, I will have no problem swapping the 2. Oh, he's going to finish it himself, okay. Okay, I have another Sen'jin. I will backstab it anyway. I won't hit it. I'll get fresh daggers, and that's the end of that. Okay, there's our legendary. I'd very much like him to actually hit me in the face with the fire as opposed to my taunt. Perfect. We'll big game hunter it. We will trade.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Now I could hit it and then use the Perdition's Blade and get him down even further. And I'm behind a taunt, so 7 damage should be hard to deal. But with the potential of an Arcanite Reaper, I want to play it super safe. So I will. I'm not even going to bother hitting with that. I'm actually just going to hit with this.
Here we go.
So now he needs to control very hard, because this turn I believe we have potentially lethal. We also have, if I'm counting right, a 2 in 12, which means 1 in 6 chance to get a Shadow Step, which means we win on the current state of the board.
I bring life.
Okay, Alexstrasza. Sprint is not Shadow Step, nor will it actually help anything. But at the end of the day, worst case, I can Abusive Sergeant my big game hunter and trade both my Sen'jin and it. Now, hold on a minute though. This is 7, 8, 9, plus 6 is 15. Wait a minute, really? Oh, do I win? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, we easily win.
Well played.
I almost made a very big error there.
Gotcha.
Here we go.
Don't even need the Abusive Sergeant. Okay. So, that's 2 out of 2 matches. If we win 1 more, we are the champions.
Valera versus Garrosh.
Okay, so this is potentially the final match. If I win, then the tournament, I win the whole tournament. So, let's see here. So we know he is an orthodox control warrior. There's nothing scary about it, really, outside of him being a control warrior. So, Blade Flurry's nice. We're not going to keep Eviscerate, or Shadow Step. I think we're just going to keep that for utility, and we're going to go ahead. Okay. Of course, that comes back to bite us a little bit, but that's okay. On the first turn, if we have nothing else, we can Abusive Sergeant. And we will.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
If he had a Cruel Taskmaster handy, this would be a lovely play for him. Okay, he does not. We're just going to dagger up here instead of Thalnos.
Here we go.
next turn we can coin out a Sengen, which currently is the plan of action. We could also technically coin out a Leroy, but I don't think we're going to do that. Okay, shield block. It'll be very good if he has a shield slam, because that means that he can get my Leroy or my Sengen rather, for free. And I think that we will coin out the Sengen, as opposed to doing the Perdition's Blade. I take out all of his shield if I do that. Well, actually, hold on a minute. If I Perdition's Blade, then I hit him for 3, and then 2 is 5, which is not bad. It makes his shield slams very ineffective. Yeah, you know what? Let's save the coin. Let's save the coin.
Here we go.
Okay, we're going to Whirlwind. He's used his Whirlwinds very suboptimally this whole time, which has only been to our favor. I've not seen him use it well yet, which is, well, frankly, which is wonderful. We're going to leave the Blade Flurry, or we're going to leave the dagger here, because Blade Flurry is a potential answer. I think I at least partially lost that one match in the semifinal because I blew my weapon too early at the end, so I don't want to repeat that problem. Now he here will put out the Fiery War Axe, yeah, and take this whole thing out. That's fine. And so here again, I can very easily put out the Assassin's Blade. It's really very comforting to not know that he has, or to know that he doesn't have any ooze. If he puts out his own Sengen, which I know he has, we can backstab and hit with the daggers as well, so that's not a problem.
Let the pain
Okay, that's an easy thing to take out.
My blade be thirsty.
I'm gonna take that out first, though. So we're certainly not going to Blade Flurry here. We're way too early in the blade, the Assassin's Blade. We could backstab the Frothing Berserker and then kill him with the by hitting him. That gives it does 3 damage to me for 0 cost, and then I could put out Thalnos. I think we are going to. Well, the other thing is we could sap. If we sap, then we take out the Acolyte with the dagger. I think actually maybe that's not such a bad play here. The only thing it actually saves me is a couple of damage, and it clears his board entirely, so we're actually going to do it.
Here we
Clearing the entire board is very, very good. We're going to put out Thalnos as well. Consciously not going to mention that it is currently the top ranked deck on Hearthpwn. He likes it, apparently. So that, I mean, I'm sure he would not do this, but just in case he feels a need to run to the website and look at my deck list.
My blade be thirsty.
Okay, so that comes back out.
Back to work.
And the Cruel Taskmaster will give me a card. Okay, so we have Shadowstep Leroy in the hand now, so we're feeling good. The Loot Hoarder could go out. I could backstab the Frothing Berserker, and if that's the case, I could also do a Blade Flurry. I don't feel really good about that, but I have the other one in hand, and yeah, what the hell? Let's do that. So we're gonna backstab him. We will Loot Hoarder. And hit him, of course, and Blade Flurry. Put out 2 daggers, and yep, we'll go from there. Now, if I happen to top deck my other Shadowstep, we're very, very close to actually getting a kill.
Armor made to fit.
Okay. We have the Wild Pyro Armorsmith combo. Does he have a spell to play? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. Fairly simple. Now, of course, I could use my other Blade Flurry with the Perdition's Blade here. I don't know how I feel about that. There aren't many circumstances that he has in which I could really use another Perdition's Blade, right? Or another Blade Flurry, right? Like if I... it'd be a waste of the coin, but what I could do is I could coin out the Perdition's Blade to combo it. I could hit this, the Armorsmith for 2. I could then hit him in the face for 2 with the dagger, and then Blade Flurry. Again, I take everything out, and I would then hit him down. So he would be sitting at 20. Yeah, I think that's actually our best option here. He'll be at 21 actually. Forgot the armor part. The Armorsmith part rather. And we'll get ourselves a dagger and there.
Well played.
Thank you.
Now, it's turn 9, and I don't have any answers. I don't have my Big Game Hunter, I don't have my sap I already used. So I actually really don't like where I am. Oh wow, that's the other one. Okay, Deadly Poison is nice to have, but it also isn't going to solve me. Oh, okay, perfect. I feel much comfier now.
Here we go.
So this will take us to 20. Next turn, I still won't quite have lethal. I need the other Shadow Step to really make it compelling. Well, I certainly need the other Shadow Step. That's including it. Getting ahead of myself.
Made to fit.
Okay, so we could Abusive Sergeant Leroy. And if we Abusive Sergeant Leroy, then we have 8 Shadow Step 14 damage, which is not anywhere close to enough.
We go.
So this is going to be another turn where I actually don't do anything. It feels so weird, but in this current matchup, he's not doing very much. He's not using his mana. I am holding Answers, so I don't need to use my mana. This is a very, very strange series of games. I can't say I've seen anything like it before. Which I suppose is what you want out of a final, but you'd sort of want something a little bit more exciting.
Mind if I roll
Here we go.
And again, that's actually going to be our answer here. We want to draw into our combo, and that's essentially all we have. I haven't played my Azure Drakes either, I don't think, or any of my, I have creatures too, I just haven't been hitting them. Okay, that's a nice card. If I draw Shadow Step, that means we win, I believe. Yes, it means exactly that we win, right at the moment. Nope, no such luck. Okay, we'll still do this. I think we're gonna hold the Eviscerate. Yeah, I think we're gonna hold it. Yeah, I think we have to.
Here we go.
This is so weird. Well, actually, you know what? That's not true, we don't have to. He has basically no taunts, and that Shield Slam, he could be holding Shield Slam, which will kill this for free, which I don't want. So I do actually have to hit him. Okay. Hoping for a Shadow Step, even an Azure Drake, or even Sprint. Any of these things would be welcome. Right now we're in a weird place. He just did that for the extra armor. Oh, and the Execute. Okay, so he's seemingly pretty desperate here. He doesn't know what he's up against, is the thing. I mean, he said that before, so you can see the discomfort. So we have the SI7. The Abusive Sergeant we can use to get the combo out. I don't really see a lot of reason to. Of course, then again, I don't see any reason not to. If I hit him... Now, the other thing is I gotta be careful, because he could very well have lethal. If he has a Kor'kron Elite, for instance, which would be weird, or a Heroic Strike or a Mortal Strike, he has 11 damage on his board right now, so I have to be very careful about that. I think what we're going to do is play the Abusive Sergeant, and we're going to play the SI7 agent. And the SI7 is actually going to be directed at him, not the Yeti. The other option, although it removes a win condition, and so I don't like it here, is I could Shadow Step the Abusive Sergeant and Big Game Hunter the Yeti. But I actually think that that's the wrong choice in this circumstance. So, we're just going to go ahead. I think that we actually have lost this. He may well play a Ragnaros and try to clear my board, and just do enough damage to me that the Rag would tick it over. There are a lot of different things he could do here. I'm not comfortable with 15 health with the board that we have. Okay, cleave, yeah. And what's the 1 damage going to be? Oh, just a taunt, okay. Now whether he removes this with the... okay. He's actually going to hang on. He's thinking about what to do with the Gorehowl. And it seems as though we might get away from this. He's pondering here. He knows that it's a tight match. He's going to Shield Slam, okay. So, he has lethal on the board. So there's my other win condition, of course, right when we do not at all need it. And actually I think we've lost. In fact, I know we've lost. There is no circumstance here that we can get away with. And all because of that taunt. So, this is actually his game.
Well
I can't play anything, so I won't. So that was extremely fortuitous timing on his taunt there, and extremely bad timing on my stuff. I just didn't get the right cards. But that's okay. We have another 2 games before we lose, so let's keep this up. Okay, so last game we had a lot of unfortunate card problems, but this game we go back to the statement that this game could win it all. So let's see here. We're not going to keep either of these. We will keep 1 early backstab though. They're just so good for comboing. Now it's not the greatest opening hand. But he has a slow start, so I'm not super concerned about it. He probably doesn't even have any 1s in the deck, so the first turn is easy. He will coin out a Fiery War Axe, though, is what I'm going to guess.
Armor.
Oh, an Armor Smith. Okay, yep, sure. So in a bid for cards, we will play out the Loot Hoarder, and we're going to backstab this so that he will kill them both. You know, in retrospect, that was probably the wrong idea. If I had an SI7 agent next turn, or anything, then I could have used that backstab. So I think that was a misplay. What we can do here, though, is we can kill the Armor Smith ourselves.
Here we go.
Okay, standard turn 3 play. We don't want to let him get a lot of armor because, well, I mean, we don't. But aside from which, it really helps with shield slams. It'd be weird to Blade Flurry here, but I think it's actually not a bad idea. We'll put out Thalnos for sure, and then the Blade Flurry will do 4, which will take his armor down to something reasonable, and it'll kill his board. I'm not happy with that play, but I think it was the best one out of the options that I had. Next turn will be the Drake, unless of course something weird happens.
My blade be thirsty.
Okay, Frothing Berserker. And a Whirlwind, maybe? Yep, there we go. That's the most effective use of it that I've thus far seen. That's almost worth a sap. But it's also, I think, not. It'll take out the Azure Drake, but I want the cards. I want the flexibility. And I have Sap and I have Eviscerate, so I have means of getting rid of it. The other thing that I could do here, I could also Shadow Step here. And if I were to do that, I again would get cheaper card draw, and next turn I could very easily Azure Drake Eviscerate. So I'm actually going to. I won the first game by doing something similar to that, so I think that we'll try this again.
Armor made to fit.
Okay, another Armor Smith. So there are a lot of things we could do here. I think that Azure Drake plus Eviscerate is not a bad one. Well, I mean, let's put it the Drake and see where we get. We could also Dagger Deadly Poison, but I sort of want to save the Deadly Poison for something a little bit better. Now, we could also Perdition's Blade to kill something, but I think actually still it is better to just do this. I think that doing the Perdition's Blade there would have probably been a mistake. We would have taken damage, and that was easy enough to do, so I think we'll continue like this.
My blade be thirsty.
Okay, so Shield Slam, and we have some synergy with the Frothing Berserker. So Blade Flurry would be good here, if I could... Okay, that's good. This is a pretty easy... Blade Flurry, or rather, Perdition's Blade, Deadly Poison, hit him, and then Blade Flurry, and that's 6 mana, so that's perfect. So we will hit him with it, and we will Deadly Poison, we will hit him, and then we will Blade Flurry, and we will clear his entire board by doing so. So, got some armor out of it, but still I think that was superior. And, you know, I mean, what do we lose by putting out the Abusive Sergeant? We lose potential for buffing something like a Leroy, but I think actually right now it's not a bad thing. I mean, for him to clear that, he would probably have to waste something larger, like a Whirlwind or something that would be fine. So, we have the potential for a Sap here. We have the potential for an SI7 Shadow Step SI7, which I think might not be a bad idea. We have 15 cards left, so we have a lot of our big cards still in the deck. If we Sap the Acolyte, well, you know, at that point it becomes sort of irrelevant. So I think what we're going to do is just... well, it does actually need to happen for the combo to occur. So, I think what we're going to do is do this. Well, it doesn't actually need to. I would just take some damage. We could not Sap. I could just put the SI7 agent out, and then Shadow Step him out. This way, actually, I don't need to waste the Shadow Step, so I think I will actually prefer to waste the Sap than the Shadow Step.
Here we go.
This guy's tough.
Now, what I really would like here is a Sprint. An Azure Drake would be fine, but Sprint would be by far the more superior option. Basically irrespective of what he puts down.
What now?
Okay, so we have just a Slam for cards,
Dingo!
and the Taunt. He'll finish that off himself. Okay, the Taunt was the reason that I lost last game. It may well be the reason I lose this game, but at the moment the reason that I'm going to lose this game is not having any cards. So we'll put out what we have and go from there.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay, so he's actually going to take out the Bloodsail himself and then hit me with the Sen'jin. That's probably the smarter option, particularly given how much health he has. Okay, so the Perdition's Blade is not really going to help here. It would put in 3 damage on the Sengen, and that's about it. But it's something that I have to do.
Here we go.
The likelihood of us winning at this point is very close to nil. I just didn't hit basically most of my card draw mechanics, I think, this game. Okay, there's one right there.
Mind if I roll knee?
Now I don't really want to kill the Sengen, but I will. I only have 4 health, and there are a lot of ways that he can do that, including with a Gore Howl, which he may well have. But if I didn't do that, there are still more options that he could have done to kill me, and he still would have had a Sengen on the table, so that was the only thing I could have done. Whirlwind to give me and him a card. And Eviscerate's not a bad one. But he's won now.
Well
So, there we go.
Well played.
Yeah, that was a weird match, and it's one that did not go well as far as card draw. Okay, so it looks like the final match of this series is going to be exciting because it actually has a lot riding on it. So, here we go.
Valera versus Garrosh.
Okay, so this is for everything. This is the actual final. It started out strong. I won 2 in a row, and then he won 2 in a row. So this could go either way, really. We have a pretty strong opening in having the blood sale. Would have really liked the coin, though. He has a slow start here, as per usual. So, as a result, I don't think we're going to have a problem with not having a first turn play. He may coin out the Armorsmith again.
Armor.
Yep, that's
made to
fine.
fit.
So we'll do, we'll just dagger up, and we will then play our blood sales.
Job done.
Now the other alternative that we have here, which I think could be strong, is we could, well, we can certainly Deadly Poison Bloodsail Raider, and then Sengen the following turn. The other thing is that we could put out the Perdition's Blade, hit him for 3, which is exactly the same as if we did the Deadly Poison now. And then next turn, instead of a Sengen, putting out both 4-3, 2 4-3s. Between those two options, probably the 2 4-3s is actually stronger. He can't kill them with Slam, or rather with wow, I can't even think right now. The one that hits 2 things for 2, and he can't hit them. He can't kill them both with his weapon. So I suppose we're gonna do this.
Here we go.
Next turn we have 2 4-3s. Alternately we have, it's very inefficient and I wouldn't want to do that, but we alternately have 1 6-3. I prefer the 2 4-3s. Especially given that he doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with it. The other thing, of course, is that we could delay even further. We could put out the Sengen, and then the following turn we could Deadly Poison and 2 6-3s. So I think actually we will put out the Sengen this turn after all. Okay, he's going to slam here. And then if he has the Fiery War Axe, he would use it, of course. Yep, so that gets rid of that. Even if he uses the axe to take out either of the 2 6-3s, I think that we're in a good place. It's just a bonus to have the extra damage done to him.
X marks the spot. X marks the spot.
And I will actually take out the Armorsmith as well.
Here we go.
So this is a reasonably good-looking board for us. He certainly has means to take these things out. 100% he does. But, and, okay, that's one of them, I suppose. Yeah, okay. So he's taken his 6 damage, and he wasted one of his largest removals to get rid of that. So that's good for us. What's bad for us is that we don't really have a follow-up.
Here we go.
Our creatures seem to be hiding in the depths of the deck. We could eviscerate, but I think I'm going to save it.
Back to work.
Okay, Cruel Taskmaster, easy way to get rid of that. And that is why we save the eviscerate. And we can Assassin's Blade here, and I think that is the thing to do. We'll hit this anyway,
Go.
and then we'll play the Assassin's Blade, and we will eviscerate like so. And that puts us in a nice strong place, except for the fact that we are out of cards. I really would love an Azure Drake here. Sprint would be okay. In fact, Sprint would probably be better, frankly. But an Azure Drake would be great because it would be creatures. These last couple of matches have just not been cooperating as far as cards are concerned. Okay, Baron Geddon. A big game hunter, of course, would be nice here, but Sap will also do. And of course, we do have Sap, so we will use it.
Here we go.
Okay, we have Baron Geddon once again. It turns it into a bit of a race. The problem with the race, though, is that essentially we don't have means to win it. I can't kill it this turn in any way, and so I basically have to just attack over his
Here
head.
we go.
Now, if I play the Perdition's Blade, I hit him down to 10, which I don't think is productive, so I'm not going to do that. This is really, really tight. If I top deck Leroy, everything is good. If I top deck something like an Azure Drake or Sprint, we might be okay too. Although Sprint would be less useful with this on the board. Okay. So Big Game Hunter would actually solve all of our problems right now. We'd Shadow Step into both of them. And it is not to be. So we can play the Perdition's Blade and eviscerate, and in so doing we'll kill Baron Geddon that way, but we still actually lose.
Here we go.
And so, well, I mean, there's nothing for it really, right? I'm not going to miss lethal, right? We can hit him for 1 and then eviscerate him for, so he's down to 5. We can do that 5 damage to Baron Geddon, and it is entirely irrelevant which one I hit because Alex Strauss is there. So I think, so we've lost essentially. Still though, that was a very close thing. Good series all around.
Well played.
I'm not sad to have lost that. I mean, I'm a little sad to have lost that. We had a very, very strong showing where we won the first 2 games without any problems whatsoever. Ragnaros for fun. We won the first with no problems. Came out very strong. In the last 3 games, we just didn't have card draw. So, but that's okay. I'm happy to have finished second, and I think this still shows that the deck is really quite good in ladder and tournament settings. So I'm actually very happy with today's results. So in any case, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you liked it, go ahead and like it. That'd be great. And subscribe. Really appreciate it. And other than that, I'll see you next time.